Davy girl, what are you doing? Hey guys, what's up? imuRgency and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back talking about Never Have I Ever, Season 3. If you're new around here, I've actually talked about Never Have I Ever quite a few times. Number 1 being for Season 1 and then last year for Season 2. So it's safe to say we're well acquainted with this series. We know the antics specifically related to Devi, and really this is just a time to break down and talk about it because this season was a lot. But before I get into the nitty gritty, if you're new around here, I do pop culture commentary, TV show reviews, fashion reviews. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on my post notifications so that you never miss when I post. And if you want more lifestyle, fashion, and reactionary content, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at imuRgency. And while you're at it, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video because it helps out so much for the algorithm. Thank you. But as I was saying, Never Have I Ever Season 3, there's a lot. What a mature and healed person would want for themselves, you know? And let me say, Devi definitely tries it all this season. Tell me how Devi goes through 3 guys in the span of 10 episodes. Period, Devi, first off. But also, how? We go 2 seasons of her trying to fight for 1, and then she ends up in Season 3 with 3? Like, wow. I will say though, after this whole season, I am still 100% Team Paxton, even though that doesn't end up working out. I just believe that Paxton and Devi would have been good for each other if Devi just had her own self-confidence and like healing. Because spoiler alert, Devi and Paxton break up in large part due to Devi's own insecurities with herself. And that whole conversation that Devi and Paxton have where Paxton's like, I can't love you if you don't love yourself. I was just like, ooh. Paxton said the words that Devi's therapist was trying to say for years. Like, damn. And while we're on the topic of Paxton, I really liked Paxton this season. I feel like this was really his closure arc. This was definitely his season because he grew and developed so much as a character. Like from him going on his whole apology tour to him figuring out who he was as a person and really discovering and liking who that person is, to him achieving goals that he didn't even think were possible. Like honestly, Paxton, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I believe there's 1 more season left and I don't think that Paxton is going to be in it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the way that they're setting things up is that he's either not going to be in Season 4 or he's not going to be as big of a role since he will be in college. But I really did enjoy his character this season and I just, Team Paxton all the way. Team Paxton all the way. Now, Devi and Paxton are characters that I really did enjoy and feel like grew a whole bunch this season. Let's talk about some characters that, whatever reason, just have not seen the limelight. Number 1, Fabiola. We need to have a conversation about Fabiola because what happened to her this season? I personally am of the belief that Fabiola needs plot points in this show that do not revolve around her relationship. Like I feel like Eleanor gets more character development, or at least screen time that shows her actually doing something outside of like a relationship setting, or maybe not necessarily outside of a relationship setting, but just showing things that display her as a character. Because Eleanor has her acting thing and we get multiple scenes this season of her like trying to act in different commercials or her being in the play, but really all we get with Fabiola is her playing Anissa and then fawning over Davy's ex's best friend. I mean, she is in the debate episode, but even in that episode, she admits that she's not even like the main character. She's an alternate for whenever someone gets sick. So my thing is, Fabiola seems like an amazing character. I know that maybe she doesn't have the time to work with because like her whole thing is like she's a nerd, she likes like robotics and stuff, which can only go so far. But I feel like for Season 4, they definitely need to expand because I really think that we need more Fabiola on her own. Just because for 1, she's an amazing character, and 2, because she's technically like the queer representation on the show. And it really does feel kind of sucky when one of the main queer characters is just on the show, seemingly just to be queer. And this point gets even more interesting when we talk about Anissa. And honestly, Anissa this season, did Anissa's actor do something? Because why did Anissa get played so much this season? Like, Anissa could not catch a break. I'm sorry, she could not catch a break. The way that Ben emotionally cheated on her at the beginning of this season and completely disregarded her as a person and thought she was dumb and all that, dragged her through the mud to the point where she had to break up with him, only to end up temporarily dating Fabiola. And then them starting to build something kind of cute, kind of awkward, only for another girl to walk in and for Fabiola to completely forget about Anissa. Like that episode was so wild to me. Like if I was Anissa, I would be hurt. Like, damn, nobody want me? Am I second to everybody? Like, damn. And after they broke up or like decided to be friends, Anissa kind of just like disappeared from the show. And I really hope we get more of Anissa because I really do love Anissa's character. Like in Season 4, I hope that we actually address all of that and maybe she has like an episode or 2 to herself where she just reflects on being second choice. I don't think the show really acknowledged how harsh that was on her. especially given all the stuff that happened to her in season 2. Like, I think that we need some reconciliation for the trauma that Nisa has faced in season 3. We're on a roll here. Let's talk about Ben. Ben, gross. Ben, fucking gross. I feel like the general public is going to love Ben this season. I can foresee it. I don't know what y'all's comments are. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I feel like the general public is going to eat up Ben. But I personally feel like he was only there just when he needed to be. However, I will say that he helped out when he needed to this season, but he was only there when he needed to be, if that makes sense. Like, he was always conveniently there whenever a character needed him, like Paxton or Devi. Paxton and Ben's episode was really cute. Like, I really liked seeing them bond. But I don't know, Ben just kind of confused me this season. Like, of course, he's really in love with Devi, and the things that happened at the end of this season really do prove that. But it was kind of just like, Ben was there being really bad to Anissa, and then he got his development episode, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm changed, I'm stress-free. I pooped out all of my insecurities and stresses. And then just randomly decides to take this girl that he meets in art class on a date. Before he does that, ends up getting with Devi. So I'm like, what was the point of including all this about like you trying to start fresh, brand new, trying to look to the future, not the past, plan a date with art girl and flirt with art girl only just to go back with Devi? Like, what was the point of that? Season 4 explained. Season 4 explained, because what was that? Ben, Like, I understand that the man never moved on from actually being in love with Devi, but damn, what love will do to you. Also, I almost forgot. How did I almost forget to talk about this? Devi's ex-boyfriend. We need to have a whole sit down. Hold on. We have a lot to chat about. Hold on. Okay, Devi's ex, Des, right? At first, I was so team Des. I was like, wow, this is so good for Devi. This is so healthy for Devi. I love that. Like, he's good for her. He challenges her. Like, oh my God, he's fine. Like, they look really good together. Like, I'm happy for this. Like, I love this for them. But then they had to go and ruin it. Of course, they had to go and ruin it. Because Des pissed me off so much. Specifically, Raya too. Raya irked me, Dez's mom. So if you haven't seen the show, right, and you've gotten past all the spoilers past this point, Raya is Devi's mom's friend. So the whole time, Nalini, Devi's mom, is talking to Raya about like all of her issues being a mom, losing a husband, and being basically a single mom. Raya is basically taking mental notes. She's taking mental notes. Instead of seeing Devi's mom with any form of empathy, she's looking at it with pity, right? So awful dynamic just to start off. But when it comes out that Des and Devi are dating, she does the sneakiest shit. Y'all remember that scene where they're sitting down and Des's mom is just like, you know what? I would be okay with it, but you know how Devi's mom is. And Devi's mom was like, oh, I'm cool with it. And then Raya's just like, she was trying to be the good cop, but she knew down in her heart that she did not want Devi in the family because she thinks Devi's a problem child. But that's not a reason to keep them from dating each other. Like, that's ridiculous. And then what tops it off, when Devi has a little panic attack because she's performing in the orchestra for the first time since her dad passed away, at that same orchestra, at that same event. Instead of coming out with empathy, she's really nice to Devi's face, but then goes to Des being like, you need to break up with her. She's crazy. You can't do this. Like, I won't accept this. That's just wild to me. And honestly, now that I think about it, it kind of has like some deeper significance because I feel like Raya is literally just an older version of like the bullies that Devi's experiencing in high school right now. Because all that is a glorified version of like the crazy Devi trope or like stereotype label, whatever, that Devi was given back in the earlier seasons by the other kids. But now that's just an adult reiterating it back to her. And normally that would have just been bad, but it was even worse because Des, his dumbass, actually followed through with it and decides to break up with Devi and wants to use the excuse like, I value my mom's opinion over you or whatever. And I'm just like, are you dumb or are you stupid? Because why are you okay with Devi's mom being mad at her for being in this relationship with you and doing all this with you, only for you not to be able to be okay for the same thing for your girlfriend? Like, why do you care about your mom's opinion so much? You know, because she'd understand if you fought back, but you just didn't fight back. So honestly, you deserve what came. When Devi threw that iced coffee on him, I was like, yeah. Justice was served. I honestly wish that Devi's mom cursed them out more because the both of them, hell.
Dare you, Mr. Spears? You had me fooled. And you too, Mrs. Spears. Death to all of them.
Now let's talk about some final thoughts and specifically the final episode. So in the last episode, Devi gets this offer to go to Colorado, right? And like leave for her last year and be basically in this like private school, really bougie private school where she can get into whatever school she wants, right? That whole episode was just kind of weird to me because I understand why it happened. I understand why she didn't take the offer, and it was really sweet how she didn't take the offer. Like, that whole scene of her crying with her mom was really sweet. But I really just feel like that offer was just used as a plot device to get everyone to share their true intentions about each other. Like, there was no other reason for that, because why did we spend time with her going to that school? Having that offer randomly show up in the last episode, her go to that school and not take the offer. It honestly felt like they needed something emotional to tie it in because Paxton leaving just wasn't enough. So they kind of like baited us a little bit. But it's fine. It's okay. I still teared up. It's all right. They got what they needed. But I feel like really the highlight of the final episode was literally the last couple of seconds of it. And did y'all catch that? Y'all really saw that? The one free blank. Sick. Like, Devi, out of all the options, how do you end up with the white boy? I mean, they kind of make sense and they're actually kind of good for each other and they fit each other personality-wise. But damn, he was about to go on a date. Really? I literally just made a video about this. And what happens? I put it to rest. If you want to see my opinions on that, you can check out that video. But damn, I feel like this is gonna get things really spicy. I think it's going to really bring the relationship to the next level for multiple reasons, because Devi is blinking, apparently. And we'll see to what extent that means in season 4. But that's just wild to me. That's just wild to me. I personally hope next season that Ben and Devi aren't endgame. Like, I hope that some mystery man appears sometime in season 4 and swoops Devi up and that's who she ends up with. Or even better, Devi just learns to love herself and be by herself, because you know how high school relationships go. But it seems like we're back again for Devi and Ben part 2. I really want to see what Anissa thinks about this. Anissa's really done with Ben, but I just want to see what her opinion of this is, because I feel like that's just like the icing on the cake. Like, wow, she was right about everything. She's right about everything. And that's really sad, but it's true. She was right about everything. Like, Eleanor and Trent's relationship is really cute. It reminds me of, like, I forget which couple, but it reminds me of a couple from Total Drama Island. If you know what I'm talking about, then let me know. But like, I can't remember their names, but there's this couple on Total Drama Island that have a very similar dynamic to those two. And I just think about them every single time they interact, and I really do enjoy how quirky and opposite and weird they are. But yeah, overall this season was really great. I did definitely enjoy it. It has everything that you need and love from Never Have I Ever. Devi has calmed down a lot. I definitely do recommend this show, and I have to give it a solid, I'd say a solid 7.5 out of 10. Yeah. If you haven't seen it already, definitely give it a watch. And if you have seen it, let me know what you thought about this season down in the comments below. That's gonna be it for this video, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, follow me on my socials at imuRgency, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.